in this lesson we're going to paint this riverbank scene. So this is a Japanese riverbank, and you can see on the right that it's got this big embankment because Japanese rivers flood. So it's not your normal river embankment, and I'm not too sure yet what to do with this bit on the side here. So this bit, just a minute, see if I can get my colours to work here. I'm not too sure what to do with that, but the first thing I'm going to do is the sunset. So I'm going to create a layer, and then I'm going to have a yellow sun, beautiful yellow sun, yeah, more yellow than that. So I want to keep this fairly simple. So I could have the sun here or here. So what I'm thinking about is the shadows. So I think here is best because the shadows are going to look more interesting. Now what I should have said from the beginning is, yeah, what was I going to say from the beginning? Yes, I almost forgot. Well, I did forget, but I remembered. I'm going to change this sky. So this sky is nice, but really I want to do an evening scene. So I'm going to do very dramatic evening scene. So here we go. Maybe not too strong, hopefully, with this, because I want you to be able to see the trees underneath. Here we go. So it's all going to be a bit transparent. There we go. Like that. It's pretty strong, right? And then, let's go back to that and let's have some grey kind of clouds, yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to have some clouds here. So the thing about these digital painting software programs is you can play with your photographs and you can get an idea, like, well, it's just a lot of fun. You can really mess around with them and you can start to be very creative and think about how to really make, how can I put this? I'm not explaining this well at all. Basically, you can formulate, you can design, you can do a lot of the redesign of your painting before you actually put brush to paper, and that's good because then you're going to make a lot fewer mistakes and you're going to save yourself a lot of paper. Sounds good, right? And maybe that's even true. I think that's true, but my argument's pretty convincing. Then we're going to have this mountain in the distance, which I love. So I hope that's clear, guys. I don't think I'm going to have this embankment, and yeah, you can make me feel bad about that. You can say, Gareth, you're not copying the real scene, and I don't care, because art is all about creativity. I'm not simply a realistic artist. Sometimes I'll just swerve the car straight off the road and crash and burn, and that's a good way to be. You don't want to make people put you in a box. You really don't. And I'm going to do these trees, so obviously this green is going to be darker, and it's going to be a green color, and darker. yeah, a bit grey green like that maybe. So here we go. So I'm just almost painting a whole new picture, but it's good reference what I've got here. Yeah, I wish the way I speak is better. Right, yeah, gonna. You wanna know? So anyway, and there's a tree there, so you get the chance here to really change everything. But the basic layout we're using, the basic scene we're using, but there's a lot going on here that is good stuff, because we're being creative, we're making something unique, different, and having fun. So with these trees, we're going to go very dark now. We're going to do these branches. So I'm still learning about this digital art, so I'm not very good at this yet, but I can learn how to do it while using it as a way of redesigning my paintings, yeah, redesigning what I'm going to paint. Yeah, I know what I want to say, but for some reason I'm not able to say it. So look at that, that looks pretty good though. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? So, and then I just need to find this green here and make this a bit darker. So then think the shadows brush, the shadows are going to be over here. Why is that grey? Okay guys, we're really getting slowed down here, sorry about that. That's my green. Make it darker, go to brush, and then hopefully, yeah, we've got dark green. Make my brush a bit bigger. Now of course there's things that, oh, that shadow is in the wrong place, but it's good enough. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. And maybe a tree here might be nice, right? A balance, yeah? So this is what I'm talking about. Like, by doing this, and by the way, the software I'm using is Critter, and it's, at first, to be honest, it's a real nightmare. It's a real nightmare. Things just, it's not intuitive at all. But it is free, and it is maybe the best free digital painting software, so that's why I'm using it. Okay, then we've got this grass, and we've got these lovely red flowers which are Japanese, so these are called higambana. Oh, but before I do that, you see, you can do this, you can get this, we can find the colour of that. Oh no, we have to go to this layer, so we can get the color of that. It's like stealing, right? Doesn't sound very good, does it? And then we're going to change this path, because it just goes in this direction, right? Just goes this way and out of the picture, but we want it to go into the picture, so we're going to make it curve like this. So, oh, but I need to be, yeah, I'm on the right layer. Make it curve like that. And I like this bicycle, so I'm going to keep the bicycle, yeah. And then maybe make it come out wider, really wide like that. And then we're going to do this green. And then that's really going to, hopefully, make the painting work well, like give you a roughly finished looking painting, because it still doesn't look quite right. But if we do this, yeah, that looks fairly good. Yeah, and then make this a bit smaller. Okay. That's good. And then in this distance we've got things like bridges and stuff, so, and hills, so we could do something there. Let's have a think. Let's just go for not black, make it a little bit like that. Yeah, and then here I'm going to have some kind of hill, and maybe over here too. I could have that bank, right? I'm still not sure about that, but that's okay. You don't, it's not perfect. It's, you need to be a bit loose when you paint and not be afraid of making mistakes, because it's like getting the creative juices going. And if you're too like worried about, oh, maybe I'm making a mistake here, you won't get to that point where you're flowing and the creative juices are running. But you won't get to that state, and it's really important to get to that state. So I like that. I think that looks pretty good, don't you? And we'll add shadows in a minute, and then that's really going to bring it together. But there's something else, yeah, the river. So, doesn't sound good. Okay, so white, and then we've got a bit of white here, which is the river. In a way, you don't see the river, so like I said, not worrying too much about it all being right at the moment, just playing with elements and creating an image that is exciting, because you might do it all correct, but it could just be a really boring picture at the end of the day. In other words, that's a you know, and you have to be honest with yourself about that. Like, is it a good image? Is it exciting? Because if it's not, then really that's the most important thing, right? Well, at least for me. Maybe for some people the painting being correct is the most important thing, but for me it's like, does this look good? Is this like an exciting painting that I think, oh yeah, we did a good job here. Ooh. So I want to make this path clearer up here, so what I'm going to do is get my color thing, then go here, make it lighter, and then just here do that, yeah, and then you can see it more clearly. And I need it going round. This is leading us into the painting, yeah, into the painting. Okay, that's all good. Then let's do some shadows. So get this again, go here, find this thing here, and then brush and back to our paint layer, and here we go. and we've got perspective here, so the shadows here in the grass are quite big and they get smaller and smaller. Shadows here quite big. There we go. There's a lot I can talk about here, but I don't want to overwhelm you. It's best to try and focus on one thing. So the main thing is this path, and changing this path that will lead us into the picture. Give this person a head. Don't want a headless cyclist. Okay, and now for shadows. So I think this green will work. The sun is here, so maybe we've got shadow here. I think that's maybe a bit too big. And then here we've got big shadow here. Oh, you can see it right from this tree, and it goes a bit into here, I think. And maybe we should move this cyclist. So if I could, I would move the cyclist up here. Maybe have him here, yeah. There's a way of doing that, I'm sure, but have to cut him out. But I'm just going to do this because it's quick and easy. And then have a shadow here of him here, yeah. Let's make him much darker. Like that. And then we can look at the painting and say, okay, maybe the cyclist is a bit too big there, but like, that's a pretty good painting. And we can have a figure here and a figure here. And you don't have to do it all perfect. And that's about it. But number one, why should you do this? Because it's just a lot of fun. But number two, you can really play around with all the elements in the photo and change them and really do a lot of stuff that, how can I put it, what often goes wrong in a painting is you haven't really thought about the design of the painting, the colours, where the figure goes, so many things you haven't thought about, and that's why the painting fails. And so you end up wasting a lot of paper and also getting disappointed. But in this way you can get your colours right, you can get the design right, you can add things, take things away. There's so many things you can do, and then you can end up hopefully with a good idea of what you're going to paint, and then you can just more or less copy this. So I think using these painting apps, whatever they are, digital painting apps, is really useful. So now let's get on and paint this picture.